Alright, good evening. So, I haven't done a video in a couple of days, but wanted to give you an update tonight, kind of what's going on here. So, we'll walk through mostly microgreens, but I'm going to give you a little bit of general update as well. So, let's get started. So, microgreens. Now these are 9 days old. I'm gonna harvest these now tonight. The broccoli, the kale, and the radish. Now, one thing I did notice about the radish, they're starting to fall over in there. They're getting really long. So I'm thinking 9 days might be a little bit too much for those guys. So maybe 8's better. Although I see the kale, now this kale is taller than what the last stuff was, but they're starting to do it too, as well as the broccoli. So kind of leaning towards not going back to the 9 days again and sticking more with 7 to 8. So that's where they're at right now. 9 days is going to be harvested, but I'm thinking that's too long. Alright, peas. These peas have really shot up. I have picked a couple of these and tried them. I kind of like them. I don't know how much longer I'm going to let these go. We do have something going on tomorrow night, so I'm probably not going to harvest them tomorrow night, but maybe Thursday night I'll do that. Sunflowers, you know, these are really really thick, and I've picked out a couple of them and tried them, and I don't really care for them. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the sunflowers again. We'll see. We'll let Samantha try them too and see what she thinks, but I'm leaning towards no on the sunflowers right now. Peas I like, and everything else I like. So there's your microgreen update. Onions. So hadn't talked too much about these lately. These were supposed to be walking onions that were supposed to like grow up and create little bulbs and be able to replant. That, at least growing them inside, has turned into pretty much nothing but a fruit fly factory. So I kind of pulled all the onions to see where they're at, decided that's a no-go. I did leave them because I had stirred up a bunch of fruit flies. I'm going to take lids to these bins here after a bit, snap them on quickly, carry these bins out, and clean that up. That's a definite no-go. Okay. I've got my bowls set up here for harvest. This is the seed starter for the hydroponics, and I do need to thin. I hadn't thinned because the bok choy hadn't fully come up. So there was the lettuce that's a little over a week old. Bok choy now has all come up, so I'm going to start thinning that. I do see lettuce. This was only just a few days old. They're starting to come up, and as well as kale is partially starting to come up over there. So do need to thin tonight. That's in the works, so that'll be something else I'll do tonight. Hydroponics rack. So nothing much has changed. I've got some previously harvested microgreens that I need to get out of there. Bottom shelf I need to clean up now. New addition. So Samantha had our youngest to an appointment today, doctor's appointment, and stopped at the big box hardware store, and now there is about 18 or 20 new 1020 flats. Basically, you know, they're out of season, but that's what they had laying around yet. So that's what she got. She basically just cleaned them out. The other thing she picked up was a couple new packages of lights to replace the bulbs that I had pulled out for the microgreens. So now I can finish cleaning up the rack, get the light bulbs in, get the microgreens trays out of there, and we can start getting that rack back set for the future hydroponics to add on to it. So got a little cleanup work to do, basically a few things, and get everything back set up. So I got my tripod sitting there, as you can see. So I'm gonna harvest off camera. I'll give you an update as to what I get out of these here in a little bit. So be back shortly. Okay, so harvest is done. So we've got the numbers here. So broccoli, I planted 14.2 grams of seed, harvested 9 days later 122.9 grams of microgreens. In ounces, that would be 4.34 ounces. Kale, planted 11.5 grams of seed, 9 days later harvested 118.1 grams, or 4.17 ounces. Radish, planted 25 grams of seed, harvested 278.8 grams, or 9.83 ounces. So I will say on the radish, I did not care for the flavor as much. It seemed like it started losing flavor. So I'm thinking 7 to 8 day max on radish, at least for me. Kale, let me give it a try. Starting to get a little stringy. It's not quite as tender. Flavor's still alright, but I'm thinking probably the same thing there. Broccoli. Yep. So I'm thinking, at least right now for my setup, 7 to 8 day max on these. I like the weight out of them, but just the the texture and the taste is not quite there. It started to lose that. I did look at a local grocery store. There is another microgreen farmer who's about an hour away, and they are supplying our local grocery store with microgreens. Retail price they're selling. Now I did not find a radish, so I'm not sure on what radish, but like the kale and the broccoli, they are selling a half an ounce for $3.99, and just because of the shelf life and packaging and sitting on the shelf, etc., they don't look anywhere near the quality of these. Now, of course, these fresh compared to those sitting, so you got to take that into consideration. But you know, at that, and I kind of guessed maybe an ounce for $3.99 on radish, maybe. But doing the and I just easy calculation, I rounded up to $5. Virtually, you're looking at $40 worth of microgreens, $40 worth of microgreens, $50 worth of microgreens. So you're looking at $130 right there. So I'm gonna take these up, wash them up, do a little moving around here. I think I'm gonna move these up to the top shelf. We need to get them watered. I'm gonna do a couple things on the hydroponics system tonight, thin those out a little bit, and then call it a night. So I'm gonna finish that stuff up off camera. So that's the update on the second harvest of microgreens. Now I have not planted, so I've still got those to harvest, but then other than that, I've got nothing planted. So we're gonna see what happens here, and then we'll start the next planting. So take care, y'all, and we'll check in later.